Hello and welcome everybody. As you are joining in, we are looking forward to seeing you. We're going to start seeing you pop in. Hello everybody.
Hello.
Hello and welcome. I'll introduce Vanessa in about 30 seconds, just giving you a few moments to pop in. Today's topic is going to be about self-care. So you could start thinking about that as we are about to start. I'll give you another moment. Okay, and here we go. As we're starting, feel free to, even in the comments, send notes to me and to, oh, let me change Vanessa's name to Venessa. 1 second. To me and Vanessa. Hello, everyone. Welcome to our webinar, to our daily work remote strategies. We know you're all working at home. The whole world is working from home. What can you do while you're working at home to make it a better experience for yourself, for the people around you, for your work, for your mental health? And today we have what I think is a really important and useful and may even make you sigh with relief at the end presentation, which is on self-care and avoiding burnout. And we're doing this today with Dr. Venessa Perry. And just before I introduce her, I will tell you that she'll be speaking for about 20 minutes and then we'll do Q&A. So feel free to give us comments even throughout and Q&A throughout. I'm thrilled to introduce Venessa Perry. She has done some of these with us before, so you can find previous ones as well. And today she'll be speaking to us about self-care and avoiding burnout. Thank you so much, Venessa.
Oh, thank you, Senya. And welcome, everyone. So today I want to talk about self-care and avoiding burnout because I think it's a really critical topic for this difficult time. And one of the reasons why I wanted to talk about it is because I notice my friends, my colleagues, my family, a lot of folks are just feeling, maybe they're feeling lethargic, maybe they're feeling, tired, maybe they're experiencing anxiety and just a number of different things. And the reason why I wanted to talk about this is to let you know that what you're experiencing is common and it's okay. So I've got a few objectives that I kind of want to go over initially. And first I want to talk about what burnout is. Then I want to talk about self-care, define it for you, the importance of self-care, what it looks like, and then some tips for self-care. So what is burnout? Burnout is basically chronic stress that will lead to physical and emotional exhaustion, cynicism and detachment, which means basically you don't really care about anything and you're detached from things, and a feeling of ineffectiveness and lack of accomplishment. So what does it look like and how does it take its toll on you physically and emotionally? Well, you're exhausted. So maybe you have chronic fatigue. So you may be feeling really tired these days, like you got an 8 or 9 hours or even 10 hours of sleep and you're still tired. Or maybe you can't sleep at all. You have insomnia or you're waking up in the middle of the night. Maybe you're having problems concentrating, you're forgetting things. You just can't seem to focus on any specific thing. You may be having some physical symptoms, headaches, stomach aches, panic attacks. Maybe you've been sick and not related to COVID, but maybe you just have a cold and that cold has lasted a little bit longer. Or maybe, you have allergies. It is allergy season for a lot of folks in different parts of the country, and you're just not feeling well. You can't eat, your lack of appetite, or you're eating too much, you're emotional eating. Or like I said, you have anxiety, you're feeling a little bit low and depressed, you have a little bit of the blues. Or maybe you're even feeling angry because, you're cooped up in the house, you're, with your kids and work and there are all these things and you're just frustrated. So there's a lot of different ways that it can manifest itself. So what does that look like? So when we talk about cynicism and detachment, basically we're talking about a loss of enjoyment. So the things that you used to like to do, you don't like to do those things anymore, or they don't give you the same level of joy. You're not feeling as optimistic as you had been previously. So you're feeling like, woe is me. Like, when is this whole situation going to end? With COVID, when am I going to go back to work? When are the kids going to go back to school? It's never going to end. Or maybe you're feeling even isolated because you're inside and you can't go out. Maybe you're in a state that has, mandatory stay-at-home order like I do here in New Jersey, and you can't really get out. And so you can't see your friends, you can't see your family, and you're actually feeling, just detached from everything. So even though, you've got your work and you've got your family, you're not feeling connected to them, or connected to your job. Maybe you're not feeling like you're accomplishing much. You're feeling ineffective. So, you've got this feeling of apathy and hopelessness. You're kind of irritable. So think people are getting on your nerves, your kids are getting on your nerves, your coworkers are getting on your nerves, and you're just not productive. You're just truly not productive at all. And you're not performing well, maybe at work and maybe at home. And people are like, why are you so short with me? Or, why are you cranky? That's what this is all about. So how do we deal with all of these feelings? Well, we deal with it by taking care of ourselves. We've got to recognize that we are out of sync and out of alignment with ourselves. And so we've got to get back to who we are. And the way we do that is by practicing self-care. So what is self-care? So these are basically intentional activities that you are going to do to reduce your stress, prevent burnout, give you more energy, and restore you to a healthier place. So there are a lot of different challenges, to self-care, and there are many of them, the career mindset, the superhero mindset, time, you've got competing priorities, you're trying to figure out what is the use, what is the value. Maybe it's not part of your routine. And so you're thinking, you know what, I don't have time. Or you just don't have the support structures in place. So maybe your work culture doesn't support it. Maybe at home, you don't have that support structure in place. And so you're just like, how do I get it in? And so I want to talk a little bit about what each of these are. So the career mindset basically says, you know what? It's more important for me to help everyone else and I'll be okay. So whether it's at work or at home, you're investing all of this time and you're just pouring out and pouring into other people. And you're like, ultimately, I'll be okay. That's what the career mindset means. So it's more important for you to help other people than to help yourself. And then you've got that superhero mindset, which is in line with that, which says, you know what, I'll be fine. Don't worry about me. I'm good. I don't need anyone to help me. Just, I'll be okay. And of course, time. Time is the biggest thing. We always say we don't have time, particularly now. We've got so many different things going on. How do you find the time when you've got kids at home? You're trying to homeschool kids, or maybe you don't have kids, you just have other family members. And you're saying, you know what? There are other things that I need to do first. So let me do these things first, and then I'll try to take care of myself later. You've got competing priorities. The kids come first, the spouse comes first, the dog comes first, or the cat comes first. You've got, your church or other faith activities. Maybe you've got your parents living with you. Maybe you've got sorority or fraternity meetings. Maybe, most people aren't really going out, but there's all these other social activities. You've got a ton of Zoom meetings that you didn't have before. And so you're like, I just don't have time. I'm scheduled back to back. But what's the use? You're trying to figure out, what is the value of self-care? It's not really going to help me if I take the time to focus on myself, because I'm just going to get back in the same place again. And I'm going to fall into this rat race. And it's not part of your regular routine. You haven't dedicated a time to focus on yourself, or to give yourself that time to have a little bit of self-care. And so that's hard to change. Old habits die hard. And so it's really about being intentional about practicing self-care. And then the last one is you just don't have any support. So, maybe you don't have it at work, or maybe you don't have it at home, and nobody else is doing it, and nobody really believes in it, and I feel like this is the time when a lot of people are throwing around self-care, the term, but people don't really know. And some people are like, well, what is that? I don't know what that is, but it is a number of things. It is focusing on yourself. So what are the benefits? Well, if you are practicing self-care on a daily basis, you can manage your stress better, you'll be more resilient, and you'll ultimately have improved physical and mental health. Which are key. So really, what's the point? So I've got 5 things here. So increased enjoyment and happiness, a greater ability to cope with stress and negative emotions. You want to be able to achieve your goals and ultimately fulfill your potential. Focusing on yourself, or taking those 10 minutes or 5 minutes a day, will enable you to maintain positive relationships with your family, with your friends, with your coworkers, and just overall. You can benefit not only yourself, but your families and the other people that you serve if you're good to yourself. So what does it look like? Physically, mentally, relationally, and spiritually. Well, physically, you're eating right, you're exercising, and you're getting the proper amount of rest. You're checking in with yourself on a regular basis, and you're, monitoring and managing your stress in the best way that you know how. You're finding ways to relax and have fun, and you're limiting the use of alcohol and other substances. And I want to really, emphasize the last point, because during stressful times, when people are feeling that there's uncertainty, sometimes we turn to other substances to self-medicate. And this actually is not the best thing. You have a temporary feeling of feeling good, or feeling that you have somehow lost yourself, but it is just temporary. And so I want to make sure that I underscore the importance of limiting the use of alcohol and other substances. And then what does it look like from a mental and spiritual perspective? You take time to rest. We live in a society and in an environment in which we are tethered to our phones, to our computers, to our iPads. You've got to take the time to rest your mind, to turn those things off, maybe to meditate. There are some great vehicles out there, some great apps out there that you can use to meditate. And you can make time for prayer, to meditation, for meditation, and to share, your beliefs with others if you are a spiritual or faith-based individual. And what does it look like from a relational standpoint? So you're going to nurture your relationships. You're going to strive for a better work-life balance. And you're going to find interests and friendships outside of work, and maybe outside of, home, because you're spending so much time at home right now. There is a reason why they're having all these Zoom social parties, and you can get zoomed out, but sometimes you've just got to find, something else to take your mind off what's happening in this present time. Find a class, or, there are all these Zoom, virtual classes that you can take. There are online classes that you can take to learn something new. So find some other interests outside of the workplace. So how do you practice self-care? Well, I've got 9 ways for you to practice self-care. The first thing you want to do is you want to identify what activities help you feel your best. So what brings you joy? Then you want to put it on your calendar in ink. Don't put it in pencil, because if you put it in pencil, you're likely to not do it. And if you're using your calendar on your phone, that's fine too. But make sure you schedule it. If it's not scheduled, then it's not going to get done. And then you sneak it in wherever you can. You got 5 minutes here, 10 minutes here. Take the time to take care of yourself physically. Know when to say no. I think we're in a time right now where there's so much uncertainty and there's this fear of maybe I'm missing out on something. And so you want to say yes to everything. Don't do it. Don't fall to the trap. Say no. You can't be on every Zoom, can't be in every meeting. Check in with yourself on a regular basis. Surround yourself with the right people. Spend time with your kids, your family, your spouse, your partner. Call your friends on the phone. Do FaceTime. All those things. Surround yourself with great people, people that are going to bring you joy, people that are going to uplift you, people that are going to love on you, because this is really important. And then consider the quality of self-care. So what type of self-care really is going to motivate you? And remember that it's non-negotiable. You have to find some time to practice self-care for yourself. I like this quote by Russell Simmons. He basically says he doesn't do anything before he meditates. So I'm not going to say the curse word, but you know what it is. He doesn't do anything before he meditates. So he takes his self-care seriously. And I believe that that's what you should do as well. So what are the take-home messages here? Basically, your well-being is as important as anyone else's. Your families, your kids, your spouses, your coworkers, put yourself first. And when you put yourself first, you're not being selfish, because if you're not taking care of yourself, then ultimately you can't care for anybody else. And when you're caring for yourself, you're better able to care for other people. And now I've got 10 key take care of yourself ideas. And this is not, a complete list. These are just a couple of things that I thought about. Create a playlist for yourself. Something that you like to listen to on a regular basis, maybe while you're working or maybe while you're working out, something that really moves you. I've got a bunch of happy songs that I put on when I'm feeling like, I just need a little bit of energy, and I do that. Or maybe you need to relax. So maybe you listen to jazz, or maybe you listen to classical music, or maybe you listen to motivational or inspirational videos, or you watch motivational, inspirational videos. You read your favorite book. You listen to your favorite audiobook or something to that effect. Do activities with your kids. Maybe you create a picture collage with the kids. Take some time to close your eyes and meditate in the dark for at least 5 minutes. And like I said, there are a number of different apps that you can find to meditate for just 5 minutes. I like Insight Timer. That's a really good one. Headspace is another really good one. Calm is a good one. A lot of people are really focusing and practicing mindfulness these days. And maybe you start a positivity file. So you hear a quote, or you come across a quote on Instagram or online, and you write it down in a notebook or in a journal to refer back to make you feel good. So something that makes you feel good. You write it down, you look at it on a regular basis, or maybe you even print it out and you put it on your desk, or you take a picture and you put it on your phone so you can see it on a regular basis. But positivity is very much key during this particular time, because we are in a place of uncertainty. And then you meal prep. So, people are probably like, meal prep? Well, how is that self-care? Well, I know that I'm not the only one that can get hangry, when you're really hungry and you just get frustrated and you just go for the first thing that you can find. And that may not necessarily be a good thing. So the whole idea of caring for yourself and self-care is, if you meal prep, at the beginning of the week, then you've got things that you can grab and go. So maybe you do breakfast. So I'll give you an example. Mandy asked me early on this week, about some breakfast ideas for her family, so she could just make something, at the beginning of the week, and she could just give it to them and they could just grab it. And so I gave her this recipe for some like little mini tin quiches. And so, the idea is that if you have your meal prep, you're not going to overeat. You're going to have meals that you can just grab something healthy, something that's already prepared, instead of when you get to a place where you're starving and then you just grab the first thing that you see. So meal prep is key. And then get up and move. So whether you are exercising, at the beginning of your day, starting a routine with exercise, or during the middle of the day, you take a walk. If you're in a building, maybe you go up and down the stairs or something to that effect, but get out, get your body moving, get those juices flowing, get yourself some, a way to reinvigorate yourself. And then set 10 minutes aside to play. So I said on a previous call that my thing is I like to color. So I've got these coloring books. So that's how I play. Or, every day at around 3 o'clock, I'm like, time to dance it out. So I put on my favorite song and I dance it out, or maybe you set aside time to play with your family. You do something with the kids, something fun. You play a game with them, or watch a good show or a movie. Just some time for you to decompress and to really think about, what brings you joy. And so those are just a few of my self-care ideas. And that's pretty much all I've got for now. No questions do you have for me?
Thank you so much, Vanessa. Thank you so much. Let's do this. Could you put the last slide back up one more time? And I'm going to ask our attendees, both here on the Zoom and on Facebook, what is something from here that you either already do or that you want to do now that and it could be specifically from here, or it might be something related to one of these. So what is something you already do, or what is something you want to do now that you've had this idea? And as you're putting your answers either into Zoom or in Facebook, I'm watching both. I'll start. I'll start with, I really like the middle bullet point here, which is watch inspirational videos. And for me, the ones that really resonate for me are TEDx talks. Yeah. So sometimes when I go before bed at night, when the kids are already in bed, I really enjoy watching TEDx talks. And sometimes it feels very indulgent. Like, am I really going to do a 20-minute followed by another 20-minute? And I'll do Netflix as well. But I like seeing that on your list, because it's sort of like, it's all right, son. You like, watch those TEDx talks.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah.
I like that idea.
I hear what some of the people are saying. Oh, a person says, I have a positivity file. Tell us more. Tell us in the comments, what's in your positivity file? What do you have in this positivity file? Oh, the next comment is, I want to start a positivity file. It's something I want to do, and that's a stretch for me. Okay, what do you want to ask Vanessa while she's here about how it's a stretch for you and what you can do? So go ahead and put that in if you want to. A few more comments. I like the School of Life for inspirational videos. Are you familiar with those, Venessa?
I'm not. I'll have to check that out.
School of Life, thank you. And just this week, someone says, I've started a few moments of movement throughout the day. That's awesome.
Excellent.
That's awesome. And somebody's saying, I'm reading Becoming by Michelle Obama. I can relate within certain experiences of her life.
Excellent book. Excellent.
Yeah. What is so you've given us a couple of yours. You've said coloring, Vanessa, you've said coloring and dancing at 3 p.m. every day. Mm-hmm. What's a new one that you've taken on recently?
You know what? So maybe a couple of years ago, I started this gratitude journal. And I'd kind of fallen off, and it's actually an app. I think it's the Gratitude Journal, or something like that. But I'd fallen off, and so I really just picked this back up within the last several months. So every day, I talk about I fill out this little app, and it says what are you grateful for today? In the morning, it says what are you grateful for in the evening? How could you have improved your day? And so I find that just the whole idea of just being positive in the morning has been really key. Like starting the day out, when I open my eyes saying, okay, I'm thankful for the fact that I woke up and I've got all of my faculties,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
or I've got shelter, or it's sunny, it's a sunny day today, finding the little things.
Yeah.
I said, music is great. I saw a lot of people are talking about music.
Mm-hmm.
Music is, oh my God, music is so soothing and just a really great stress reduction vehicle. Love that.
My mini tweak on that is if I want the kids to do the laundry with me, I will put on songs that I know they can sing to.
Oh
So
yeah.
that helps.
Finding activities that you guys can do together if you want them to help, music or just activities that you guys like together, that's key too. Anything to relax you.
We've got a follow-up comment on the positivity file. That person, the one who's going to start one, is motivational quotes and pictures that speak to me. Or I think actually that's the person who has one. Yes, she has a positivity file, motivational quotes and pictures. And then one person is asking, Vanessa, do you recommend a physical or a virtual positivity file? Or he suggests perhaps both, depending on where you find the positivity inspiring.
It can be either or. So if you want a physical one, so maybe you write some things down. Maybe you have a journal and you see a quote and you write it down. So, that's physical. Or maybe you get magazines and you want to cut them out and you want to keep them in a file. Or I like Pinterest for the virtual positivity file. Pinterest has all of these quotes about anything on there, and you literally can create yourself a board, and you can name it whatever you want: motivational quotes, inspirational quotes, success quotes, anything you want. So I like Pinterest a lot, and I get these alerts like when there's a new post for something positive, and I'll look at it and I'll say, oh yeah, I like that, let me pin that to this board, to my whatever board, motivation board. So Pinterest is great. So either one, whatever one works for you, physical or virtual.
We're getting comments that people agree with you. Pinterest is just great. People are liking it.
Yeah.
So here's a question for you, and we're going to wrap up in about 3 minutes. A question for you is, how should you kind of put in the ripples of self-care throughout the communities that you're in, for example, family or work? Because you don't want to kind of be a dogmatic person like, hey, everyone should do self-care and here's what I'm doing. So how can you do this so that others learn about it, try it, so that other people are less stressed too?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think you find what works for you and you can ask people to join you. And let me give you an example of that. So a friend of mine started these Wind Down Wednesday Zoom calls. And so, this is a way for us to, to not only connect with each other, but express care for each other. And so last week, they decided to do a recipe, like a recipe share, to get people engaged and to motivate people not only to cook more, but to cook different things. Because I think a lot of people are finding it difficult to switch up their menus. They're just like, I'm cooking the same thing over and over again.
Uh-huh.
They did this recipe file and they posted it, and one person compiled the recipes and they sent it out to the entire group, and it was on Facebook. And it was really cool to see all these recipes. I mean, maybe it was 30 different recipes. So, it got everybody engaged. So I think there's a way that you can find something that you enjoy and you can get other people to engage. Who your family, your friends are, what they like, what your common interests are. And that's one way that you can connect with them and say, hey, you know what? I know you like yoga. Let's do a virtual yoga class together. And a lot of people are doing that because there's a lot of virtual classes these days, but just the whole idea of, okay, I'm going to turn on my YouTube and then I'm going to turn on my Zoom and we can do this together.
Yeah. Yeah. So don't only find this list for yourself, but try to invite someone you care about.
Yes, absolutely. It's critical for everybody and every day. Like I am a firm believer in doing something every day for me. Even if it's just, you know what, I'm going to listen to music today. I'm going to do one page in my coloring book, or I'm going to call someone. You've got to integrate this daily and make this a part of your regimen and your routine on a regular basis.
That's an excellent ending thought. Thank you so much for that. Do it every day. Everybody do it every day. Thank you so much, Vanessa, on self-care and avoiding burnout. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
All the best, everyone. See you again next week. We'll be doing this for a good number of weeks again. So see you at 11 a.m. Pacific. Thanks a ton, Vanessa. All the best.
Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.